My name is Adam Hosselmeyer and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk a little bit about my first experiences with the GoPro Hero 10. I'm on a medium mod today. I'm going to walk around this little lake and see what it looks like. I'm more interested in the sound of the built-in microphone that this thing has. It's really windy out, so I'm just going to try it for a little bit. Then I want to put it on a wireless microphone that has a wind muff because I'm a little nervous about the audio quality, and I've never used this microphone before, so. Let's start off by talking about the image quality of the GoPro Hero 10. Image quality, I'm not gonna lie, I was really disappointed in the image quality of the GoPro 10. So much so that when I was editing the video, I stopped several times to make sure that it wasn't my computer program or my monitor or some other factor that was contributing to the poor picture quality. When I was outside, the quality seems to be pretty good when there's plenty of lights. But some of the videos that I got when I was indoors in my barn, in my garage, were just completely poor quality. And it was really surprising because you might consider that low light, but I was in my garage with the lights on, the garage door open. I was standing in front of a window and had a lamp pointed at me. So it really wasn't that low light at all. But the footage was like super grainy and just not very appealing at all. This particular shot right here, I'll show it. Something definitely weird going on with the exposure, auto exposure on this shot. If I zoom in on it, you can see like my face just looks weird. There's weird shadows going on. So I don't know what's going on with that. I have seen one other person, Anthony Lapani. He made a video about something similar to this, but to me it's just pretty much unacceptable, that level of video quality. It's like my face is all smooth and there's weird shadows going, and I don't know, something's going on with it. One thing I can tell you is that I didn't know this when I was starting, is that I was in standard bitrate mode. You can now go up to a high bitrate mode, and that's what I'm filming in today. And hopefully it'll look better today than it did the other day because I'm using the high bitrate. Okay, so let's talk about the overheating just a little bit. So I was filming along here about 45 minutes, I think, and I was using like 5.3K 60. Then I wanted to film some slow motion. I filmed my 120 frames per second, 4K. Nothing happened. Sat it down to get some 240 frames per second, 2.7K. And when I picked it up, it had overheated on me when I was trying to shoot that 240 frames per second. Okay, I turned it back on. It worked for the rest of the shoot. No problems whatsoever. So I don't know that if overheating is going to be a major issue with this particular camera or not, but it gives me pause because I just don't know if I can be able to trust a camera that overheats. Like I was saying in that video, a GoPro is kind of a camera that you just kind of stick up somewhere and just leave it running to kind of get all the action. I mean, what if you're out filming, you know, doing something really cool, and your films and your camera overheated and you didn't catch what you were doing? Like if you were fishing, caught a 10-pound bass, or you were golfing, got a hole-in-one, or like doing some skateboard tricks and did this trick that you've been practicing on forever, and you go to look at your camera and it overheated. I mean, how bad would that be? I got it marked away for idiots like me, like following this path, you can't figure it out. So for idiots like me, they have it marked, thank God. And let's talk about the stabilization for a little bit. Now, if you look at all for the stabilization test that I did on my lawnmower. You know, the stabilization is great across the board. It all looks good. I don't know how much improvement's been made between the Hero 7 and the Hero 10 as far as stabilization goes. But going back to the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8, they all have really, really good stabilization. I don't think that the improved stabilization is going to be a really big selling point of this particular camera because it's been good forever. But all the action cameras are good. Even the Go 2 that I just had, you know, put on my hat, the stabilization on it is unbelievable. And the 360 X2, I mean, the stabilization is great on that as well. So pretty much any modern day action camera, 360 camera, whatever, is going to have great stabilization. So I don't know if it's a huge selling point for this particular camera, but it is good. I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong. But is it anything special as compared to the older models? I don't think so. Which way should I go? Which way should I go? Let's talk about some of the things that I actually really like about the camera. And I mentioned them in some of my other video, but I'll go ahead and mention them in this one too. I love not having the cage around the camera like the Hero 7. You know, the Hero 7, having the battery so small, and that's another thing we'll get to in a minute, that you have to constantly change out the batteries ever so often. I mean, it's pretty regular. I don't know how long you get out of them, but you're constantly having to change out the batteries. When you change out the battery, you have to take the cage off, slip it out, you know, change the batteries, put it back in the cage, close the cage up, then screw it back on to whatever, you know, apparatus it's been affixed to, tripod or whatnot. This is a way more simpler. It has two little feet that come out the bottom, so you don't have the cage. And then you can also just slip the battery out the side, so it just makes for a lot better and faster experience as far as changing the battery goes, changing the SD cards, things like that. And I really think that's a good design. I really do appreciate that. The lake's looking, that's kind of what lakes look like in the end of summer, all mossed over and nasty. That's where the big fish like to hide. So let's talk about the user interface a little bit. The user interface is considerably different than the Hero 7. And I do like this a lot better. It did take me a while to kind of, you know, rifling through the settings to figure out what was going on with all the different things in this camera's interface. You can have it remember certain settings, which makes it really easy to use if I want to change. It's like if I just want to go into slow motion, or if I want to go to 5.3K 60, or just 5.3K 30. It makes it really easy to switch. And that's nice. Swipe on the back, change your settings, away you go. Sometimes you might want to, you know, film something in slow motion and then go right back into, you know, regular activity or whatever. It's nice to be able to do that on the fly like that. I haven't seen a snake, which that's a plus. So finally, let's talk about the screen situation on this camera. Like when I got it, I was like, man, do I really need a front screen on the action camera? The field of view is so wide, you don't have to worry about all that. But I found it to be extremely useful when using the camera, just to be able to set up your shot just a little bit. Just like right now, I can see myself. That's pretty handy. And the good thing about, like I said in my other video, that it dims after a while, so it doesn't run your battery down too fast. And that's nice to have. Now I think on the last version, a lot of people were complaining about the touchscreen part of the camera. Like when you're selecting in between, going in between functions and trying to select your settings and stuff like that, they said it was kind of funky. That's the best word I can describe. And I would say this camera is kind of the same way. I don't think this screen, is the back screen, is as funky as the old one. I mean, it's kind of like on an iPhone, when you tap something in the 3D tap, the old 3D tap that used to be on the iPhones. So sometimes you have to give it the old, press instead of just a tap, and that'll help change the settings. So it's not too bad, but it is just a little bit funky navigating the screens and pressing different settings and stuff like that. But if you give it a firm little tap, that'll usually do the trick. Anyway, that's kind of my first take of the GoPro 10 Black. It's been a pretty good camera so far. I'm a little bit worried about the image quality. I don't see some improvements in that using the high bitrate mode. I'll probably more than likely go ahead and take this one back. But I'm going to do just a little bit more testing on it over the coming days, and I'll put out those videos. And let me know what you think so far. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.